Last year, Gentlemates were embarrassing. They blew a 12-6, 5, and 4 lead all in a row, and that's how they ended their season. But this year, they've turned their franchise around. They were down 10-2 against Giant X, and they ended up dominating the second half, winning every single round. It was crazy. And now we're going to start on Pissed Around, and we're going to talk about something that I've been seeing a lot of teams do. And it's not using their Poison Orb that you normally see teams throw here, plus a Viper Wall, but instead, teams have been throwing it long. And this does a few things. So you're going to notice this round, the Gentlemates start in a 1-1-3. Viper's going to throw her Poison Orb here, and this does a few things. It allows the attackers to scale up and burst into Octagon, like explode and take this space, but also it stops any defenders from jump spotting this for info, which you see all the time in bind, like always. Now, usually on short, you'll see the wall going up like this and an orb here. This allows attackers to walk up this skinny side. It also allows them to walk up this side, and this orb allows them to drop the orb and peek hookah. They can walk out the right side. It is a mess to handle if you're a defender. Now, teams are starting to realize that you really only need the Viper Wall because there's only one primary spot that defenses can watch this lane from, being here. Attackers can usually just pre-fire that spot and take care of them. Like I said, orb goes here. You're gonna see an Astro Star and hookah, and Bade in a second is gonna walk up and Prowler into it. And this something else that teams have been doing a lot of. He's gonna Prowler inside plus a smoke, and what this does is create two big question marks for defense. Somebody could be in fountains, somebody could be outside hookah. Now, what Fade is gonna do, instead of rejoining your team, which I've again have seen a lot of teams do, is leave an attacker inside of hookah. And what this does is it allows B to now be like an escape valve. So if this 4-person push up short doesn't work, they could take the teleporter safely knowing that hook is clear, and they could just kind of burst onto site. Obviously, yes, this is all to worry about long, but again, by leaving somebody having a lurk on the opposite side of the map, it creates a release valve in the form of these teleporters. These teleporters are not a lot safer to take. So now when you're up 10-2, your team can sometimes tend to get overconfident, and then things like this happen.
Oh, it's going to have to be this Pissed Around goal in their way, and well.
And now this first blood here involves a lot of Valorant fundamentals. So this kill involves a lot of angle advantage. The closer you are to an angle, the person farther away can see you first. Now, by jiggling this angle through the left, the person on the right can actually see you because they're farther away from this wall than you are, right? So what happened here was Martine saw Flickless jiggle a few times and lasted a nasty headshot. So was that careless? Maybe, because you kind of want to switch up the way that you're peeking an angle. You want to jiggle, then jump spot, maybe then jiggle again, jump spot. You want to give your opponents different looks. You don't want to do the same thing over and over because you can get punished like you saw here. Now what's going to happen is Sage is going to realize that short completely gone. She's going to push through showers, great reaction, and Brimstone and Sky are going to rotate over, but Raze is going to go on a flank and potentially flank with Sage, and they're going to try and pinch short together. But the only problem is that you need to be careful when clearing hookah.
This position from Starzo as well, it's like, just the rattiest of spots.
So once this kill happens, the entire offense could take the teleporter. Fade has a big ass open site, and she can take so much space. She ends up taking elbow, and then this round just becomes impossible to win. Also, I forgot to mention, Gentlemates are in the upper final as I'm recording this video, so not only have they stopped blowing 12 whatever leads, but they've basically turned their entire franchise around. Really cool to watch, but that's beside the point. We're going to Giants first full buy, and Gentlemates are slamming A. And you're going to notice this looks pretty coordinated. We have a star for shower, you're going to see a flash and haunt from Fade, and then up short, Whaley is going to fly at Viper behind that saturate. And I don't know how she doesn't get that kill, but Viper immediately retreats, blasts a snake bite because Flickless is 1 HP. He doesn't want to die and lose that space, but because the offense have worse weaponry and not a lot of room to work with, I mean, they know they're going to get dumped in the retake because Giants also have a lot of utility. They decided to make a proactive play.
He's lucky to still be standing. Grabino in the corner, flash again. Perfect from Martine, and another now dropping. In fact, they're all four.
And you know, the funny thing about this play is that Grabino actually turns expecting this flash to come, but once Gentlemates, they tapped the spike, and then Astra got off it, and then went to go push backside, and then a bunch of fights just happened. Mates knew that they had the worst weapons. They had to take these fights and cause chaos. That's how you win these rounds where you have these worst weapons, and it ended up working out for him. And now something else that a lot of successful teams have been doing is abusing this gun here, the Outlaw. So Giants obviously were forced onto a low buy where you see a bunch of half or no armor. And what they did for the first basically 2/3 of this round were basically just post up, make sure the defense aren't getting aggressive. Then they decided to group up short, but leave their Yoru with the Outlaw to spot B. And this is the same outlet thing that I talked about earlier. If you leave somebody on the opposite site, the teleporter is always a solid escape option because one of the two lanes are always cleared for you. So you're going to see the attackers, they're going to scale up short. The 3 stack is here. So running into this might be tough. You have a crossfire from Sage and Viper, and then on B, you see Martine's Outlaw peeking into sight. He has a ton of info, so if the offense wanted to teleport, now would almost be the best time. But they start prowling, they start basically executing. The defense shut it down quick with a smoke and molly. Gentlemates know that this execute ain't gonna work, so they immediately teleport. But look how far Martine gets up. He takes down one, and he knows somebody else has to be here. Takes down a second. That's insane.
Left him with an easy plan. He keeps on going. A 4K runaway mini. That's Martine's kill. They're swapping weapons. They're giving it to him. Good teammates as the shorty.
And now normally I'm against kills like this where Martine already has his ult, and instead he could probably give this kill to Bippo or Glyph, and they can fill up their ult bars. But in a comeback like this, or comebacks in general, you kind of want to bring the vibes up as much as you can and ride that momentum. So hitting an ace definitely is a morale booster. And plus, after this execute at round 17, I think you're going to see that mates have plenty of ults to use.
Yeah, he didn't have much of a comeback today either. Well, 10-6, mates starting to drum up some support, some hope at last. Martine in there on the but he'll be caught by Flickless. The trade, at least, will be found. Bippo low, but Starzo is clean. He rammed the house. He has completely swept them and left Cloud on west side without a clue as to what just went wrong. That's Andy, I'm gonna have to use you here, man. Show me what Starzo just got up to.
Literally, it was the Nightfall. He put the Nightfall in and just went, they can't hear me, I'm just going to sprint. Like, everybody else is focused on the rest of my players, that I can just have that as a distraction. And he was right. That's fair play to him. And after the remaining two, getting back in is just impossible. Cloud alone. Starzo just looking to join up with the rest of his team. Doesn't have any interest in over-facing here. Again, almost just being that distraction so the others can find the kill, and that's exactly what happens. Mini closes the round. But again, it's another set play that just has layers to it. Like, you look at the start and you go, okay, this is utility setup for Martine to get the kills. And in reality, it really wasn't. It was set up so that Bippo could get in behind, and then Starzo could go in even further. Like, Starzo was layer 3.
Is a combination of just staying, like having good mental, staying in it, good planning, like good ult economy, just a solid masterclass by Gentleman.
Well, the timing here could be really rough if he falls, and instead he's going to be stuck on top of it. In fact, they're even ready for it as well. Martine's the one to get the opener. Orbital strike could be nasty, but Martine's already gone. He was the one under threat, and Glyph has just...
See, Waylay and Yoru both dash and teleport into this like little cubby on site, right? And when they do, I'll try and pause it, these guys are literally pre-firing Sage. They know that she's here. So one, either Giant X have done this in the past, or two, they just heard the wall and know that people like to do this. Regardless, it was a really good read from Gentlemates. And now Giants try helping their Skye with the Brim ult. She ends up getting one, but at the last second, I don't know if you saw it, Skye is hindered, meaning Waylay ended up getting a big saturate off on Skye, and Astra ends up wallbanging her through this like elbow angle, which is insane. Now, because those two side anchors died, Viper knows that elbow's gotta be, like, elbow has to be free. If somebody's in here, that means they're just baiting their two teammates who are in this area, and then it's whatever. So Mini ends up pushing elbow, and Giant X just have no idea that she could even be there.
It leaves them under pressure again. Showstopper ready, but the smoke fading gives Mini a chance. Being aggressive in their nature, and well, I don't think he's using the Showstopper here.
I would be surprised. And I think a large part of why mates are playing that round so slow is because they're up against 5 ultimates. They don't know what's coming around. If they take an early fight, but they don't actually capitalize on that control, i.e. if they're just playing for a bit of control on B, they go back in the other direction for the plant, whatever, the res is going to come through, and it won't really matter. You're taking a big risk for not a lot of payoff. The slow approach here, let your opponent make the mistakes, and then go for one big burst play. Yeah. Give them the as little opportunity as possible to put those ultis into effective use.
That's what I like about their post plant as well. Like, a lot of what they've been doing has been relatively passive in post. Like, you've had those early hits.
And that if they can just section Viper off by herself.
They clear this out. Danger for Flick. It's going to be a TP. They're going to flash deep. TP on the back of that and look to punish Flickless. This could be crazy. It's a mad straw. It's a fake and a spam. Flickless is 4 HP. They're surrounding him and pushing him out of his own pit.
Now, I have no idea how Mini ends up surviving that, but what Gentlemates decided to do was basically overwhelm the Viper. You're going to see Waylay dash up and over. You're going to see Yoru teleport all the way through lamps. You're going to see an Astra suck here. You're going to see a Prowler. It's just craziness. Now, Felictus ends up getting out with 1 HP. I don't know. Again, don't know how he lived. But with this Astral here, it basically isolates Viper all on her lonesome, and Gentlemates filled up this entire area with utility. And now what they do next is pretty impressive. So the defense defense decide to teleport, since Sage didn't really see anything there, and these three are going to push through. And now the offense realized that if the defense have short and showers, they're going to push backside, and then things just get crazy. I'm going to try and, you know, talk it through this, but then Brim tries swinging, but she bumps into Asher in a Cosmic Divide. They're dancing, they're tangoing or something, and then Minnie somehow gets a kill with an op. I think she swings out of her ult and swings Brim backside when the wall drops. Yeah, so he dies. These two are still stuck in showers. They can't really push through this mess. A small gap. Beepo ends up getting traded, and this puts Gentlemates in a 3 versus 3. But they still have a big Viper's Pit that covers most of site. Retaking through this should be next to impossible.
Can have effect after all. Straight through it goes. A chance to remove that pit, but looking for Mini, and he will find him. That's at least that gone. Glyph low, Starzo low. They're clearing them out one by one, and Glyph is all that remains. He's going to bait them out, but they don't know he's behind. Into the 1 versus 1. Ara trying to wrap around, needs to get on that spike. That time is ticking, and Glyph knows he just needs to get it on.
And now the way that Glyph plays his clutch is actually really smart. So what he's going to do is place his last star. He saved his gravity wall to pull the diffuser off the spike. He gets a kill, but he immediately turns around to reposition through lamps. In Raze's mind, Astra is right on this corner, ready to swing him, but he isn't. Also, keep in mind, it's not like Giant X are just some, you know, like a bunch of nobodies. These guys made it to champs last year, and Gentlemates definitely reminded them.
You went to champs, seriously?
And now confidence in comebacks like these is necessary, but sometimes too much confidence can end up killing you. So now in this round, Gentlemates did start by defaulting B, and what they're going to end up doing is using these stars to create a lot of B pressure before they end A. Smokes are going to go up, Decoy's going to go in, defense are going to be like, oh my god, there's people in this area, Brimstone, come help us. And then he's going to leave. But what ends up happening isn't exactly what I mentioned.
Let it slip, but Pipson's going to be studying it, there's no doubt about that. That's a nice start for Flickless though. He's still been stellar.
So I don't know if people just didn't teleport right away, or if Flickless just hit an insane shot that we'll never see because there's no replay system for pro games, or maybe they show the replay system. Editor, if there is, you know, show the kill here. But anyway, Beepo ended up Amazon Prime delivering this guy a free Vandal, and that's pretty bad. You're down a player, the enemy team now has a win condition, and it's just not a good time. So what ended up happening was Viper ended up double backing with her Outlaw, and you've seen what this gun can do.
What has been a
What?
Something to bring them back. So maybe this 3-person swing out of hookah might work.
Into a fight, you know, feel like their teeth are getting back in to the meat and potatoes of the game. And for it to be after 8 rounds in a row, a guy just goes, oh, you have a bit of hope? Let me deal with that real quick.
That's happened a few
feel so
times,
dejected.
though. I think the upsetting thing for them is there's not, like, for example, if I said how many times has a player, or if I had a nickel for every time somebody on mates has walked into an eco round site with an outlaw and won it for the team, I would have a couple, but it's a couple more than I expected to see in this game. Like, we saw Martine do exactly the same thing.
We did see Side to line it up, at least.
But it's got to be infuriating because you've got to feel as a player like you're not really doing too much wrong, but you're just being caught by these incredible plays from the other side. The Vipers both sitting atop the board. Mini now extending his lead above, but 11-10 from 10-2 down. They now have the lead, and it's all out.
My favorite thing about this push is that Sage's res is online. On defense, it is a lot harder for Sage to get value out of her res because teammates will usually die in positions like peeking short or in showers or places that aren't really accessible for her to res. But if you get aggressive at the beginning of the round with her, she's going to be right there to get the res off. So you're going to see 1, 2, 3 kill. How could this possibly go wrong for Giant X? This West Side even gets the res off. It's a 5 versus 2. We'll watch this.
Go back to basics. They've still got to defend, though. There's other players to deal with, and nothing is working out for GM.
Yeah, like I said, this team can just do no wrong. So it's a 2 versus 2 now. They have the entirety of B for free. And I don't know what Grabino's doing. Maybe he's worried about a Viper lurk, but Fade Haunt landed spawn. A Prowler's here now. They're planting. I mean, this dude is so far away from the action, and he was like still shift walking like a minute ago. Like, even if Viper dies to him, at least Flickless knows that it's a 1 versus 1 on site. So I don't know. Now, the Nightfall only tagged 1, and I love this double peek from these two. The Nightfall goes out. They know that it tags 1. The Prowler goes all the way in, tells these two, to exactly where Viper's at. And because Viper's deafened, these two just sprint through elbow. They know that Viper can't hear, right? So they sprint through elbow. She can't hear them. They get the kill. And I never see people do this in ranked, like, ever. They'll fade out somebody. They'll be deafened. And I never see people do that in ranked. Like, they'll fade out somebody. The enemy is deafened, but they'll still shift walk around like they can hear you. It never makes sense to me. And now, yes, it did take Brimstone like 5 years to get here, but he does have one final win condition, and that's a smoke for the spike.
Round that almost should have been their opponents. I think a snake bite is waiting for the spam coming through. Starzo looking for his ace, taking a lot of damage. Can't risk the round for solo glory, but Starzo's going to try and do it anyway. The steps a bit hurt, but and there is the ace in the...
So how do Gentlemates close out this game? With the Outlaw. And now in this round, the offense are grouping up towards B and have left Martine by himself to try and find a kill with the Outlaw before teleporting back, and he can rejoin his team. But Westside was expecting it. He gets put down, and you might be thinking, oh wow, Giant X are, up again. How do they blow this one? Well, sometimes it's just not your day. So the offense decided to group long. They move up behind their poison orb. They drop it, but the defense need info. So Skyrips are seekers, and every single one of them ends up going long. So Aura gets on a pretty nasty off angle. He should get a kill up here, shouldn't he?
He's not going to win the fight. Desperately needed to take that one home. And now Biffo's going to go over the top. The slow has connected. It makes it impossible. No escape for Cloud. Wonderful utility work. And from a man advantage to a two-man disadvantage, they were 10-2 in the lead. And now Mates have the chance, after choking leads left, right, and center, to pull off an 11-round streak. Flickless will clear Mini. An opportunity maybe, but that opportunity fading. Flickless started this game off magnificently. And he has a chance to keep them in it. But both players just sitting back. Starzo gonna go looking, checking, and will just...
Again, this was just another well-thought-out execute. They kill the Raze, they get in the entry, the Prowler clears all of elbow, Waylay decides to dash in, slow, teleport out, Sky stuck in the open, gets stuck. I mean, there's a Brim Molly for backside. I mean, it's just a masterclass from Gentlemates. They have all the momentum, all the confidence. And I mean, if you want to see what they looked like last year, check out this video. It was pretty bad. This turnaround was incredible.